Hello students, let us continue with the exercise question number 6.4. The question is a rectangular wire loop of side 8 cm and 2 cm with a small cut is moving out of a region of a uniform magnetic field of magnitude 0.3 Tesla directed normal to the loop. So we have a rectangular loop of length 8 centimeter, that is 8 into 10 raised to minus 2 meter, and breadth is 2 centimeter, that is 2 into 10 raised to minus 2 meter. This loop is taken out from the magnetic field of magnitude 0.3 Tesla. The loop is moving out with a speed of 1 centimeter per second, that is 10 raised to minus 2 meter per second. We have two cases. We have to find out the EMF between a small cut when the velocity is normal to the longer side. So we have two sides. So let us say we have a small cut here. Let this be a point A. That is, a small cut is made. You can make a cut at any side. So let this is A. So if this is A, we can, this point is A, B, C, D. Let us name this point as AE. So there is a cut between A and E. So we have labeled that, named that cut as AE. We have named that cut as AE. Now let us assume that the magnetic field is going into the plane of the paper or the plane of a board. The loop is taken outside. The loop is moved outside. So first, in the first part, we have V perpendicular to AB. That is a longer side. So it is taken out. This is a V vector. So some portion of the loop, initially we assume that the entire loop is inside the magnetic field, and at some instant it is taken out. So this is the first situation. So what will be the potential difference or EMF induced between point A and E? So potential difference EMF induced between point A and E is equal to, now we assume this as a rod, AB, BC, CD, DE as a rod. So EMF induced between point A and E is equal to EMF induced between point AB, point BC, that is a side BC, plus side CD plus side DE. So this is a EMF induced between point A and E. One point will be at high potential and other point will be at a low potential. Now EMF induced for AB. So we see that for side AB, the magnetic field is 0. So AB is 0, plus BC, that is the breadth or a shorter side, it is parallel to V. We know in a motional EMF E is equal to BVL, and all three should be perpendicular to each other. So for side BC, V is parallel to length or breadth. So no EMF is induced. So it is 0, plus CD. So we have, you say the length is perpendicular to B, and B, V and L both are perpendicular to B. So EMF will be induced. So it will be BVL, plus DE. Again it is a shorter side which is parallel to B. So for side ED also, V is parallel to the breadth. So it is 0. So EMF induced between point A and E is BVL. So magnitude is 0.3 into 10 raised to minus 2 into 8 into 10 raised to minus 2. That is 2.4 into 10 raised to minus 4 volt. So this is the EMF induced between point A and E. Now let us find out the sign, which point is at high potential and which point is at a low potential. The EMF is induced in the rod CD. So for CD, we apply the formula F is equal to Q V cross B. So V is in y-axis, B is taken along negative z-axis, J cross K is I, so this is minus I. Now this is a formula for a positive charge, so all the electrons of this rod will accumulate at this point. So D point behave as negative and C behave as positive. So this is the situation. C behave as positive and this behave as negative. Now suppose if we connect a bulb here, then circuit is completed. Then the current will flow in the direction C to B, B to A, then via bulb. So that is, the current is clockwise. Now they have not given us the diagram whether the magnetic field is to be taken in negative z-axis or positive z-axis. It was given that the magnetic field is normal. However, if the figure is given and we want to find out the direction of the induced EMF or the direction of the induced current, so it should be the clockwise. And by common sense also, this loop was placed in the magnetic field initially, so all the field lines were passing through it. Suppose these 4 fingers are passing through it. Now I am taking the loop outward, so the flux is decreasing. I does not want the flux to decrease. That is the Lenz's law. It opposes the change. So more number of field lines should go in. So when it is taken out, some of the field lines are gone. You can see this portion, there is the magnetic field is 0. So we does not want the magnetic field lines to decrease or magnetic flux to decrease. So the flux should be inward to oppose the change. Now if the field lines are going inward, then this phase should develop a polarity of south. And if it is a polarity of south, then the current flowing should be equal to in a clockwise direction. So this is the first part. Now immediately we see the second part, where it is given that V vector is perpendicular to the side, shorter side. Say, let us take the shorter side as AD. Now in the second diagram, this is the first part, this is second part. So magnetic field. Now we make a cut here. So A, B, C, D. Say this point is E, near to this. Now the velocity is perpendicular to the shorter side. Again, EMF induced between point A and E. Now for AB, the magnetic field is 0. Again same situation. Plus BC, now we have CB. The velocity is along x-axis. The magnetic field is inward. And the length of this BC, that is its breadth. But for BC it is the length. It is perpendicular to V. So all three are perpendicular. So we have a EMF due to BC plus CD parallel to V, so 0, plus DE. So for DE, again we have this portion, it is taken outside the magnetic field, so this portion is outward, that is magnetic field is 0. So here also the magnetic field is 0. So for BC, the magnitude comes out to be BVL. Here it should be BV into the breadth of a rectangular loop, and we substitute its value. So that is equal to 0.3 into 10 raised to minus 2 into 2 into 10 raised to minus 2. That is 0.6 into 10 raised to minus 4 volt EMF between this. So this is the EMF between the point A and E. So let us name this as, let us give this symbol as AE dash or A dash E dash. So this is a new diagram. So we name it A dash E dash, that is a EMF induced in this case. So it is 0.6 into 10 raised to minus 4 volt. Now we have to find out which point is at high potential, because the EMF induced is due to this rod. Again, F is equal to Q, V is along x-axis, so I cross minus K. I cross minus K. So this is equal to I cross K, that is minus J. This becomes plus J. So all the electrons will be along the negative Z axis. So all the electrons, so this C becomes negative and becomes positive. So this is the polarity of point B and C. So again, if we connect a bulb here, the circuit is completed. So current will flow in the direction B, A dash, D, C, D like this. Or it should oppose the change. The field line should not decrease. See, this portion has come out as compared to this portion. So the field line should go in. So again, it will behave like a south, or this phase will behave as a south. Then the current flowing will be in the direction clockwise only. So the current is not asked because they have not given us the diagram. We have taken the field to be going into the plane of the board. Now we have a second part also. How much time the EMF will be induced? Now see the first situation. The question, second part is, for how long does the induced voltage last in each case? So again we come to this case, second part, where we have to find out the time. So what should be the time when this entire loop EMF will be induced till this end remain inside the field? The current will flow till this end remain inside the magnetic field. When this end comes outward, the magnetic flux will become zero and no current will be induced. So how much time it will take? Now we know that time for which EMF induced, so time for which EMF induced will be the time in which the shorter side comes out. So EMF will be induced for only that much time when this comes out. It will come out only when this entire side BC comes out. So time for which EMF induced is equal to time for which the shorter end or the shorter side comes out. The shorter side comes out. So say, suppose this CD comes out. So the instant when this CD end, you see the diagram, when this CD end comes at this point, suppose this is CD, then the entire shorter side is out of the magnetic field. So the time will be equal to the distance upon the speed. Speed is given, but what should be the distance? This should be the distance. So here the distance become breadth upon V, that is 2 into 10 raised to minus 2 divided by 10 raised to minus 2, that is 2 seconds. So EMF will induced in case 1 for only 2 seconds. So after 2 seconds, if I want to draw the diagram after the 2 seconds, what will be the situation after 2 seconds? So see the case 1, the situation will be like this. This is your CD and this is the field. So now this is your loop. So by the time this end comes out, the EMF induced becomes 0. So we have taken the distance of a shorter side. So time for which EMF induced is equal to time for which shorter sides comes out, and it will come out in 2 seconds because displacement is 2 centimeter only. So this is second part of the case 1, and for this again we take a time t dash. Suppose Now distance upon speed, here d will be equal to length, that is 8 into 10 raised to minus 2 upon 10 raised to minus 2. So 8 second. 8 second. So what will be the condition? The EMF will last when BC comes at this point. When BC comes at this point, that is on the edge, or now this will be the situation. BC comes at, so this point becomes A, this point A. So how much time this AB will take to come out? 8 seconds. So EMF will be induced for a time interval for which the longer side comes out. So in the second part, for finding the time, the distance or displacement is taken for a opposite side. So this is how the EMF induced, or it is an example of a motional EMF. Now question number 5. A 1 meter long metallic rod, so 1 meter metallic rod, that is say length is equal to 1 meter, is rotated with the angular frequency of 400 radian per second. So length is 1 meter, the frequency is, the angular frequency given is 400 radian per second. So it is rotated about an axis normal to the rod. So axis of the rotation, let us assume the rod is rotated like this. So this will be the axis of rotation. So we assume that this is a rod and it is rotating like this. So it becomes an axis of rotation normal to the rod. So a 1 meter metallic rod is rotated with angular frequency of 400 radian per second about an axis normal to the rod, passing through its one end. So this is its one end. The other end of the rod is in contact with a circular metallic ring. Okay, so let us assume this is a ring only. So this is in contact with a metallic ring. A constant and uniform magnetic field of 0.5 Tesla, so B is equal to 0.5 Tesla, is parallel to the axis, exists everywhere. So the axis of the rotation is taken along the z-axis. So let us assume the magnetic field is parallel, so it is going into the plane of the board or plane of paper. So this is the situation. It is the same example we have done. A wheel having the spokes are rotating in a magnetic field. So here we have a rod which is kept in contact with the ring. Calculate the EMF developed between the center and the ring. So if you remember, this was same example we did. There we were given n number of spokes were given, and we concluded that number of spokes or number of rod does not play an important role, and EMF induced in this case was half P omega L square. So all the three values are given. You have to simply substitute all the three values which are given to us, and we will find out the EMF induced. One end will become positive and one end will become negative. The direction of the magnetic field is not given, so we have assumed the field is going inward. They have given that a field is parallel to the axis of rotation. So you can take a field going into the board or coming out. So we are not going to find out the direction for the rod. In our example, we found that a center behaved like a negative and the rim of the wheel behaved like a positive positive terminal of a battery. So you substitute all this value, half into 0.5 into 400, and L is 1 square, that is 1. So this will be equal to directly 0.5 into 200. So that is equal to 5 upon 10, 100 volt. So EMF developed is equal to the 100 volt. This is a 100 volt between the ring and the, or you can say the ring and the center of the ring. Question number 6. A circular coil of radius 8 centimeter. So we have a circular coil of 8 centimeter and 20 tons is rotated about a vertical diameter with an angular speed of 50 radians per second. Again, omega is given 50 radian per second in a uniform horizontal magnetic field of, again B is given 3 into 10 raised to minus 2 Tesla. Obtain the maximum and average EMF induced in the coil if the coil forms a closed loop of resistance R is equal to 10 ohms. Calculate the maximum value of the current in the coil. Also calculate the average power loss due to Joule heating effect. Where does this power comes from? So here we have a circular coil which is rotating in the magnetic field, uniform magnetic field. The number of turns is 20. So it is in AC generator we have seen that we have taken a rectangular loop. Here we have a circular loop of 20 turns. So it is rotating in a vertical circle, or sorry, vertical diameter. So it is rotating like this and the magnetic field is like this. So if this is the initial situation, the flux is maximum. So EMF induced is 0. Now it start rotating. So theta will change. At this point EMF induced is maximum because the flux becomes 0. So we have to find out the maximum flux. Now for AC generator, the maximum flux EMF induced, the maximum EMF induced was ban omega. So when the flux changes, the EMF is induced, and here the coil is rotating in a magnetic field which is given vertical diameter with an angular speed of 50 radians per second in a uniform horizontal magnetic field. So obtain the maximum and average EMF induced in the coil. So this is the maximum EMF which is induced in the coil. So this will be equal to B is given 3 into 10 raised to minus 2, area that is pi r square, number of turns 20, and omega is 50. So you can find out the EMF induced, the maximum EMF induced in this coil will be equal to, you substitute value and find out the answer. Now we have to find out the maximum current. So the maximum current will be equal to maximum EMF induced upon resistance R. So whatever you answer you get here, divide it by 10. This much be the this much ampere of current will flow in this loop. Now you have to find out what is the average power loss due to Joule heating effect. Also we have to find out the average EMF. So average EMF, now we know the formula for the average EMF. This is for the maximum EMF induced. In AC generator, E was equal to EM sin omega t, that we have derived. The average of this, the average of sin omega t comes out to be 0. So we will see that average EMF is equal to 0, and how to find out the average, that we will see in the coming lecture, that is in a new chapter, AC, that is an alternating current. For the time being, you remember if we have any function of time ft, suppose f of t is a function of time, then the average of this function for one complete cycle, so this is the symbol for average, it is for one complete cycle, so our EMF induced is suppose sine. So average for one complete cycle is 1 by t integration 0 to t f of t dt. So you have to do the integration of this function with respect to time for one complete cycle. Now EMF induced is equal to Em sine omega t. So if you know this integration, try to do the integration of sine omega t and divide it by t. Whatever answer you get for one complete cycle, substitute limit 0 to t. So you will get the average EMF to be 0. Otherwise, in the coming lecture, we will prove that the average of sine and cosine function is 0 for one complete cycle. So for the time being, we direct write the average here. Now we have to find out what is the average power loss due to Joule heating effect. Where does this power comes from? Now average power induced is not equal to 0. So again we will see this, that average power formula. So for first we write a power formula, P is equal to E square upon R, or you can say I square R also, but we know the formula for E. So this is equal to Em square sine square omega t divided by R. So we substitute this well. Now average of this comes out to be E square, Em square, that is a constant term, resistance is constant. Now average of sine square. So if I want to find out the average of times sine square, I should do 1 by t 0 to t sine square omega t dt. So if you are a mathematics student, you can do this integration and you will find out that this integration comes out to be half. The value comes out to be half. Otherwise, in the coming lecture, we will prove all these things. So I am taking this average of sine square omega t equal to half. Now Em square, we found this here. You substitute this value and we will get the average power. So average current or average EMF for one complete cycle comes out to be 0, because they are the function of sine or cosine, and the integration of sine and cosine for one complete cycle comes out to be 0. But power, in power term we have a square, and the average of sine square or cos square, we will see in the coming chapter, it is half. Now they have also asked, where does this power comes from? Now this is the average power loss. This is the power loss. So from where this power loss comes? Now this coil is rotated. So it will not be rotated automatically. Some external work has to be done. So when we rotate this coil, some mechanical energy is spent or some work is done. And as soon as this coil starts rotating, the magnetic flux decreases. So the EMF is induced in such a way that it opposes the change. So whatever mechanical work we do, this coil or EMF is induced, it will oppose the change. And that is the loss in the circuit. So the external work, done, the external work done by rotor is, so whatever work we are doing, we are not using that energy. So the mechanical energy is converted into electrical energy. but we have a resistance in the circuit. So whatever external work is done by the rotor is dissipated in the form of Joule heat as coil opposes the change in magnetic flux. So as soon as you start rotating the coil will oppose the change. So whatever work is done by rotor, that work is dissipated in the form of heat. So external work is dissipated in the form of Joule heating effect. Now let us see question number 7. We have a horizontal straight wire of 10 meter long. Length of a wire is 10 meter. It is extending from east to west, is falling with a speed of 5 meter per second. At right angle to the horizontal component of our Earth magnetic field. So B is equal to 0.3 into 10 raised to minus 4 Weber per meter square. What is the instantaneous value of EMF induced in the wire? What is the direction of EMF? So we have different parts for it. So let us assume that this is a wire and we consider the direction like this. This is east, west, north, south. So this end is east, this is west. So west to east is along x-axis. Then we have south to north, that is going into the plane. So from south to north along negative z-axis, and the v vector is along negative y-axis. So wire is falling like this. This is your BH, that is 90 degree. So the situation is, this end is east, this end is west, the north south is like this end is south and that end is north, like this. We take a cross. So from south to north, that will be our horizontal component. The wire is falling vertically downward. We have to find out the EMF induced. So all the three, you can see that this is the direction of BH. All three are perpendicular. So magnitude will be BH V into L. So this will be equal to 0.3 into 10 raised to minus 4 into 5 into 10. So this will become 15.3 into 10, that is 3, 5, 15, 10 raised to minus 4. This is the EMF induced. Second part, what is the direction of EMF induced? So to find out the direction, F is equal to Q V cross P. So this becomes Q V, that is minus J, BH minus K. So this becomes Q J cross K, that is equal to I. So the direction, all the electron will accumulate along negative, because this formula gives the, it is for a positive charge. So all electron will accumulate at the negative, at the west end. So E will become positive. So second part, using F is equal to Q V cross B, we find that all electrons accumulate, so all electrons accumulate at west end, so it behave as negative, and east and behave as positive. So the equivalent circuit will be equal to, this will be the situation. East will behave like a positive, west will behave like a negative. Now the direction of EMF, it is away from the positive terminal. So the direction of induced EMF is from west to east. The direction, see, you complete a circuit. So through the wire, we are talking about through wire. So we have only wire. So if I complete the circuit by connecting a bulb, the current will flow in a clockwise direction. But for a wire, the direction of induced EMF is away from the positive terminal. So that is from west to east through wire. Then we have a third part. Which end of the wire is at higher potential? So clearly all the positive charge will get accumulate at the east end. So east will behave as a positive end or a positive terminal. Now see question number 2. Using Lenz's law to determine the direction of induced current, a wire of irregular shape turning into a circular shape. So you have to find out the direction of the induced current. One irregular shaped wire is given. The points, different points are given A, D, say C, and point B. Now this loop and the magnetic field is cross. The magnetic field is cross. So it is given that a wire of irregular shape turn into the circular shape. So if this wire turns into circular shape, it means the magnetic flux has increased. The magnetic flux has increased because the flux is directly proportional to the area. So if, first part, if irregular wire turns into circular shape, the magnetic flux has increased. Magnetic flux has increased as area has increased. So the flux increased means more number of field lines will pass through it. What will happen? See the diagram. If the irregular shape converts into a regular shape, then more number of the field lines will pass through it because the EMF has, the magnetic flux has increased. So more number of field lines will pass through it. Now according to Lenz's law, the induced current is such that it opposes the change. Now this is our situation. So more number of field lines try to enter into the page. We don't want the field lines to enter into it. So initially, suppose we have only 3 lines or 2 lines going into it. Now when it turns into a circular shape, more number of field lines will pass through it because flux is proportional to A. We don't want the field to go inside. So the current should be induced in such a way that it opposes. So our field line should come out. So if field lines comes out, this polarity of this phase becomes north. So the current should flow in an anti-clockwise direction. So the induced current is such that it opposes the change. So direction should be anti-clockwise. So the direction should be anti-clockwise. So let us say the direction anti-clockwise. So you can write the direction from A to D to C to B to A. You can start from anywhere. So current in this circular loop, when it turns into a circular, the current will flow in anti-clockwise direction. Now the second part is a circular loop is been deformed into a narrow straight wire. Now the circular loop is deformed into a narrow wire. So now we have a circular loop. And it is deformed into a wire. So opposite of this, the magnetic flux has decreased. The magnetic flux decreases. That is, the number of field lines going into is decreasing. So current should induced in such a way that your field lines is going inward. So the direction in this should be, you see they have given the labeling for point A dash. This is A dash, D dash, B dash and C dash. So now the flux is decreasing. Now the flux is decreasing. So your field line should not decrease. It means the induced current should be in such a way that more field lines should enter in it. So earlier, if we have say 3 or 4 lines going into, now if you deformed it, the number of field lines will decrease or the magnetic flux will decrease. That is opposite of this. It should not decrease. So more field lines should go inside, and more field lines should go inside means that polarity should be south. So current induced is in direction clockwise. That is clockwise direction. So we take that A dash, B dash, C dash, D dash to A dash. So you can start from any point. You can start from C dash. It can be C dash, D dash, A dash, B dash and again C dash. So this is how we apply the Lenz's law. It should always oppose the change. Here the magnetic flux increase. So it should, the polarity of the phase should be such that it opposes the change. So your field lines, which is more field lines are going into it. So induced current should be in such a way that field line should oppose it. Means the induced field line should comes outward. So it behave like a north. This is opposite of this, the flux decreasing. So this is all we have about the chapter number 6. We have completed this chapter number 6. In the coming lecture, we will start the new chapter, alternating current. Have a nice day.